Okay. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah.
Right? It sounds good, right?
That bass.
I like this.
With these on,
Now we just need to get JJ in.
I will never hear the fire detector that tells me of our impending doom.
We will slowly suffocate.
Painlessly, presumably. I mean, if the shit hits the fan, I'm just going to throw Nipper through this window and get some fresh air.
There's a million other objects you could throw through the window to get fresh air. You choose the dog of all
I
things.
feel like he'd be closest at hand.
This is the Darkside Records and Gallery podcast.
I would choose the Christmas tree.
I'd probably choose that log right there.
You're not grabbing the log barehanded.
It's
This
right there.
The log would be the thing creating said smoke.
Not the one in the fireplace, dumbass. There's one to the side.
Oh, I like that. Now, you know what?
You think I'm going to reach into the fireplace?
I'm going to grab that stereo up there with all the tubes. Just wing it right through the window.
That's really heavy. That's really heavy.
Exactly. That means I'll go through the window. You know how hard it is to throw a dog through a window?
I do.
I presume very hard. I haven't actually tested. I guess it depends on the dog, really.
In the window.
That's true.
Old, non-tempered glass, going right through.
Like a storm window.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables in this situation here. How does my voice sound considering I have a cold and I feel very verklempt?
Not bad.
Okay, thank
Not
you.
bad.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably an improvement.
My nasally voice is an improvement to my regular
Hey, guys.
nasally voice.
Hey, guys.
These sound pretty good.
They do sound good.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
nice, right? These are good mics. Yeah. Ooh, it's so big.
Long and cylindrical.
Do you like this, Berto?
Right in front of your
Shazam!
face. Nippers. Now choking me with my own headboard
Oh.
cord.
My own headboard.
We've had our reaction is to sit
You
here
got-
and watch you get choked out by
I
a
thi-
dog.
I think you have to bite a lemon. Isn't that like the thing? Like they keep a lemon in their mouth so you can bite it so at the last second you don't die.
What?
Isn't that
What
an
does the lemon
autoerotic
have to do with
asphyxiation
what?
thing?
How does that save you?
What was the guy from NXS? Remember him? Didn't he die of the same thing?
I think you're right.
I feel like
Yeah.
it kills a lot of people because
I don't feel like he kills a lot of people. That's a bold statement when it comes to.
Might kill a lot of people in Thailand.
I'm sorry. I ruined it. I'm sorry.
All right, so this is an exciting episode of the Darkside podcast. There's a lot of new things that are part of this episode.
It's been a big year.
I just meant in the last 2 weeks. This is big.
That's true,
You,
too.
You want to do the whole year?
Well, I was saying we're talking about the year's best. It's been a big year.
Okay. January 1st. Go.
Dude, we are broadcasting officially from the new Darkside Man Cave.
That's right.
Is that what we call it? The Darkside Man Cave?
I don't think that's fair because A, there's a woman literally right
Correct.
there.
Correct.
B, there's going to be babies presumably at some point. Not necessarily tonight, but those are two things that you can't have in a man cave.
We're in stately Darkside Manor.
Okay, that's better. Yeah.
Darkside Studios.
I like it. Yeah. JJ and Erin, you guys have a new home.
We do.
Holy shit.
And there's a fireplace.
We are having our first official Darkside Fireside chat.
There's also the strong possibility there's carbon monoxide in the air tonight.
That's true. Can I do one thing? Can I just get a moment of silence so we can see if we can actually just pick up the fire noises?
I got the car going by.
I'm just letting you guys know now, if there was no fire noises, I'm just going to put fire noise sound effects in so it sounds like there's fire noises and just going to let that roll through
Before
the
you
whole
go,
podcast.
Before you go, you just gotta bring a mic over the fire, and
There we go. Maybe we should move Erin's mic just in front of the fire so that it just picks that up.
that'd be really funny, actually. I think what we're saying there is Erin is fire.
Ooh, which, if you know anything about hip-hop, is a good thing.
I was gonna say she sets fire to the rain.
That's not.
That was no.
It's not a cool hip hop saying what you're saying.
That was the last album.
See,
Did you say you're okay with being fired?
she's dropping hip hop fire right now.
I was gonna
That's what
say
she's
that.
doing.
I think that makes me James Taylor.
Yes.
I've seen fire and
I've seen rain.
the Made It Rain.
He's my favorite hip hop artist, James Taylor.
Set fire to the rain was Adele, right?
I'm not really up on my Adele and or fire related lyrics, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I was going to invite you to stand next to my fire.
We didn't start.
Is that a song? I don't get that one.
Oh, come on, Hendrix.
Oh, okay. I'm with it now. Okay.
We didn't start the
Fire.
See that one I get? It was always burning since the world's been turning.
We didn't start the fire.
I'm cutting all this out. This is
That's how it
terrible.
goes.
We should not be harmonizing.
I really wish I remembered the rest of the words of that song. Like the verses.
Ayatollahs in Iran, Russians in Afghanistan.
Something.
That's all I got.
Berto is our in-house Billy Joel expert, so he should
That's
be
true.
on this.
True. I mean, I
Particularly
probably do know
80s Joel.
more of the words to that song than anyone else in the room.
So, other news that has happened recently is Erin's computer completely shit the bed.
Just
Her
shit the
Mac
bed the other night.
fucking totally died. She had to go and get a whole new hard drive. She lost everything on her hard drive.
Including JJ's dick pics.
I was going to say baby pics first, but I mean, if you
You
want
gotta
to go
have the
straight,
dick before you have the baby. I'm just natural progression of life right there.
That's
Can't
just
have
science.
One without
the
the
other.
other.
Can't argue with science, man. All right, fair enough. So she lost everything, and that fucking sucks. And now she has been, or I should say, as Darkside tech support, I have been assisting her in putting new things on her computer.
True. New dick pics.
So many dick pics. I subscribed her to Anthony Weiner's Twitter account. So we've upgraded our mics.
Upgraded the mics. Yeah, these are nice.
We have brand new microphones. You can't hear Berto because he's 85 fucking feet away from it.
I can hear myself.
Coming through JJ's mic because you're closer
You
to
can't
his
hear
than you are
because
to
you're
your
wearing
own.
fucking skull candy headphones.
Don't bring my skulks into this.
Well, I was going to say, really, this is only an issue because JB forgot the other mic stands.
That's correct. That's correct.
There's great new mics and one less mic stand than we used to.
You know, we're adapting. We're doing what we can.
Electrical tape saved the day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. It did.
Stolen electrical tape.
Stolen ET.
This is really sensitive now.
That's the way it's supposed
If
to
I
be.
talk like really wet, if I put like a lot of split in my.
Sounds like a boot stuck in mud, only wetter.
That popping noise you made with your mouth, or whatever you just did.
Yes.
Yes, do you know who makes that noise?
I'm assuming a baby.
Both babies,
Aw.
when they're hungry.
Here they go.
That's because that's the sound I make when I want a nipple in my mouth. So I assume that it's the natural sound a human makes when they want a nipple in their
How's
mouth.
that work out for you?
Not as well as I'd hoped.
They actually only make it when they want solid foods, not when they want milk.
I mean, you should see the reaction I get in strip clubs when I do that. It's rough.
Milk is more
I gotta bring out the 20s just to be able to stay.
So wait, so does that mean when we're at work and we want to order lunch, we should just make that noise in the store?
Aaron,
Unless you don't want solids, then you should go ba 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 ba.
Okay, done.
I'll have to drive home and defrost the milk for you.
I think we'll just move the breast milk freezer to the new store.
there we go.
Fair enough.
That'll be
That's
nice.
fine.
Some smoothies and some shakes.
They do it in Japan or something like that.
They do a lot of things in Japan.
You go to like a milk bar and get fresh from the teat shots.
Fresh from the
Shots.
teeth.
So wait, there's someone back there like milking
Yep, lactating
a
women.
lactating Japanese woman.
I actually I would hope that you would get to see that, so you like see the source.
I would like to see the source.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that it's.
You know, this is like how people here get like organic free range food. They're like, I'd really like to see the farm where that chicken grew up. It'd be the same thing. I'd really like to see where they're being milked if I could. I want to make sure it's free range.
Just like a sterile
know?
room in a glass case behind the bar with those like those cow things just
Yeah, I was just
stuck
thinking
on
the
there.
same thing.
I was thinking more, it's like,
They're just playing Angry Birds.
I just want to make sure they have a cage. They have at least 3 feet of room in which to move around.
Did you see
and-
Fury Road, Mad Max?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like that. The breast milk setup they had there with the mutants.
Oh, I never want to think about that.
Oh,
ever
yeah,
again.
you just thought about it again,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what's going on in Japan right now. You know,
But for profit.
Somewhere
for
in
profit,
the world right
not
now,
for hoarding.
Yeah.
somebody's drinking a fresh human milk shot.
Good for them.
It's like
Yep.
wheatgrass.
Good for them.
If you've got some, send some to Darkside Records, care of
That's care of John
Roberto.
Bryan.
Roberto Hull.
Fresh milk.
Yeah, just
Send us a Japanese freshie, would you?
Hashtag milking the health.
that's Jonald H. Bryan.
I've got some December milk in the freezer right there.
So you have,
December
milk,
milk,
in
fresh,
the, in
winter
the
milk.
sink.
Yeah,
Is that like a winter lager?
you gotta always have.
Like, does the cow get different flavors as seasons change and she ages?
It's artisan breast milk.
Handcrafted in Yonkers.
So, everybody, welcome to the Darkside Records and Gallery podcast, episode 13?
10? No.
12.
12?
12.
12. There's
13?
11.
Bobby Long was 11.
Was Bobby Long.
Bobby Long was 11. So, welcome to episode 12 of the Darkside Records and Gallery podcast. This is our last podcast of 2015.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
It's been quite a year.
It's been a crazy year.
It has.
There's been a lot of changes that we've gone through. We're still going to go through a bunch of changes. I don't know if you have noticed, if you're, I'm speaking to the listener, of course. You, the listener. I'm speaking to you. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have not moved yet. We're still in the same place.
They probably noticed because they're probably one of the people who are like, hey, your sign says November.
It's 2015. It's the last episode of this podcast. It's December. That's a crying baby.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
If there was carbon monoxide, she wouldn't cry.
Exactly, yeah.
Ever again.
Oh, my God. See, that's what I miss about our old setup is Erin yelling edit from another room at us while we're recording.
Now she can come over and just plug wires.
Yeah, now she's going to be here yelling at us to edit things.
But it's been a crazy year. I mean, to sum it up, I think Han Solo was at the beginning of this year.
Wow, you're going to do that? You're going to do that?
I'm just saying, it's probably too soon, right?
Spoiler alert, Berto has seen Star Wars. Maybe that's what we need to. We just need to say spoiler alert first. Okay, everyone?
Right.
Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the new Star Wars right now. You ready?
Ready.
Here we go. I saw it.
I saw it.
I saw it 3 times.
We all saw it. Berto saw it. It's weird that I can see Erin in this video screen over here.
What you doing? Describe it in detail.
She's laying with a baby.
Okay.
She's being adorable.
That's cute.
I guess really the babies are being adorable. She's being like second tier adorable, That's a baby.
That's Harper.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think it's Harper.
You don't know.
You don't know
It might actually be Charlotte.
You don't know your baby's howls?
I do, but I'm questioning it right now. I'm hearing it through microphone. Speaking of this year, I'm actually putting the final touches on my
He's a slacker.
top 10 list as we speak.
I finished up mine today. And here's the thing so this podcast is dedicated to our top 10 of 2015 lists.
Right.
We've been posting lists that we've received from customers, from part-time employees, from friends. And we've been posting them all on our website.
Strangers.
Darkside Records.
There was that homeless guy who gave us the napkin and I think had a top 10 list on it. Or feces. I couldn't tell. I left it in your box.
It basically just said vodka with a question mark, and we assumed that was his number one album of the year, which I had not heard.
It's techno.
It's by Mr. Boston.
I've been working on mine, and here's the thing: I don't know if I have like a number one album of this year.
I definitely do.
You do? You have like a confident
I do.
number one?
Yeah.
And it actually really surprised me. Like it snuck up. I mean, I guess we'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay.
But it was surprising. And like as one of those ones that kind of snuck up on me, and I realized I've been listening to it nonstop for some time. JB, why don't you reach over there, take
Hit the
that,
mute button.
throw it against the wall.
Wow, that is a good scream. Wow.
That's nothing.
While there's babies crying in the background, I figure I'll just move on and talk about our top 10 list. But so before we get to our actual picks, something I wanted to talk about is that last week I did a lot of reading of other people's top 10 lists, and, all the major publications have put theirs out, Rolling Stone, Pitchfork, all the music blogs and everything. And there's one that I did not listen to at all, and it's obviously Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly.
Why is that obvious?
I have to admit, I haven't listened to that either.
Because
it's on a lot of people's lists.
It was Obama's pick. He picked it for Song of the Year. And I feel like I missed the boat on something. I feel like I missed a whole cultural movement because it was like across the board on every single site's top 10 list. Everyone had Kendrick Lamar as either like number one or number two.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I apparently slept on Kendrick Lamar. Holy shit.
I thought you slept with Kendrick Lamar, and that's why.
No, then I would have heard the record if I had slept with him.
Maybe.
I would know a little bit more about the album, I think. I feel like he would play it before we did it gently together.
Grammy. Kendrick Lamar will not be reposting this. You don't want to be rough with a guy backed by Obama. I'm just saying.
You never. Holy shit. Yeah. So,
this took a turn.
Yeah. I'm going to say a not all unexpected turn.
It's true. What was it, like 10 minutes this time?
Yeah. That's pretty good for us, actually. So we've been working on these top 10 lists all year. We have gotten them from a bunch of people.
And it's not too late. You can still submit your top 10 list.
Totally.
We just won't talk about it on the podcast.
We
'Cause
actually
you're late.
We created a hashtag DS. It's hashtag DS Top 10 2015. If you search that on the social media, you'll see everybody's posts. I've tried to collect them and repost them on our website and on our social media, so that you could see what everybody was listening to
Yeah, a lot of
this year.
customers have been into it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by the response that we got from people. Mm-hmm. Were there any lists that you guys read from part-timers or whoever that stood out to you? Anything that, any interesting picks that you maybe didn't think about this year?
I thought Tyler had an interesting pick. He put Ron Funch's Bunches of Funches on his list, and I didn't think of that one.
I think Tyler's list was interesting because I keep forgetting that he is much more knowledgeable about hip hop than any of the rest of us, which is like refreshing because he can make better recommendations to customers than I can. I'm like, oh yeah, the Jay-Z. Go to the Jay-Z. Everyone likes the Jay-Z. Although apparently this year it's Kendrick Lamar.
You just turned into like an 80-year-old man in one fell
From Long
swoop.
Island.
Yeah. What are you kids listening to? Is it the Jay-Z?
and the Beyonce.
He's got that Barclay Center out there.
Oh, God, hello.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Well, I think the crying stopped. That makes me feel better.
Okay, good. What else was new that we were supposed to talk about for this?
Someday we'll be prepared for this.
Yeah.
Someday.
2016.
I mean, to clarify, when JB says we've been working on it all year, we've been working on it for like a week.
Yeah. When I say we were...
No, that's not true. I literally have been kept a list the entire year in my phone.
I started keeping a list the entire year. I got 2 titles on there, and then until about a week ago, I added the rest of them.
I think a couple of my picks might have started off the year, so I was like, it was a strong list, and we had been not far off the heels of our last year's top 10. So I was proactive, and I put it in my phone and started keeping track.
Mm-hmm. I had a couple that I put in my phone, and really my big ones have pretty much been there, and I don't think the majority of my list is going to be a surprise to anyone.
Oh shit! I forgot about Baroness.
He's still editing.
I know he's editing in the podcast. He's
God.
editing his list.
It's embarrassing.
I had a tougher time this year than I did last year.
I definitely did as well. You know what my problem was I don't have like a clear and defined number one, and part of that is because the album that I picked for my number one, I didn't realize actually came out in 2014.
What was it?
Classic mistake.
Yeah, and I got a pressing of it that came out in 2015, and I just didn't research the actual release date of the record. So it was my bad. I fucked up. It was Nothing, Guilty of Everything. I love that record, and this year really came to appreciate it. I saw them live, and I don't think it was on my list last year.
No, it wasn't.
I don't even remember what my list was, really.
I remember some of my list from last year.
Is that a bad sign that we don't remember our list from last year?
I could probably give you the
I
top
remember.
3 or 4.
I remember some of them.
Yeah, well, give me.
Smashing Pumpkins was on there.
Okay.
I know my number one was the original scoring to 2001: A Space Odyssey that had been vaulted for all those years.
Oh, I remember my number one. My number one was Laser Wolf.
It was Laser Wolf.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that record. Holy shit.
But we're talking about 2015 now.
Now we're talking about 2015. Now the whole new lists.
How many things from last year's list you still
Ghost
listen to
Face
this
Killa
year?
was on there.
Are you still listening to that this year?
I think I listened to it maybe once or twice. I don't know.
See? I probably listen to that Laser Wolf, I want to say, like once a week. Like it comes up and shuffles, and I'm like, holy shit, I fucking love this record, and I'll just let it play.
Do you think Erin made the babies cry so she could get out of this?
Totally.
No, I don't.
She hit the baby hit the baby crying remote.
Isn't it like a Zach Galifianakis?
It's like a remote that causes like the bed to pinch them until they wake up.
All right, well, I guess who wants to go first and talk about their list?
I'm going to say Justin probably doesn't since he's still editing.
Yeah, I'm still
my
kind
knowledge.
of looking down my list here.
Well, here, I'll go first.
Okay.
All right.
We'll go around the L.
Okay.
I got a new sofa. That else is new this year.
It's comfy.
So my list, which I have to preface, is I have 8 on my top list. I didn't make it to 10.
I find that unacceptable.
I know.
This is disappointing indeed, sir.
I have 8 with an honorable mention because I was really stressing trying to pick records that truly were like standout artists who, really eclipse a lot of things and like really help me be inspired and listen to new things and feel like I was expanding what I was listening to. Like I really wanted things that really, like when I listened to them, they made me say, holy shit, and made me rethink a lot of things. Like that's really what I go for in my top 10. And I had a lot of albums that I really liked, but they weren't necessarily, you know, like game-changing albums for me. So I felt like I was doing a disservice.
Is that the watermark here? Is game changing the standard? Or it's your standard?
I don't know. That's his standard because I have a different standard.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that in a minute.
too.
Yeah, and I think we all approach this a little differently. We all approach how we create our list a little differently. And I think last year I remember last year I picked Prince as one of my top 10, and it was specifically because, not necessarily because it was a game-changing record, but because it was indicative of a really specific time during the year that I had so much fun, and it, you know, like every time I hear it, like it affects me and made me think of that, and that's why I put it in my top 15. And this year I tried not to do that. I tried to pick things
Whenever
based
I
on
think
like
of that stupid
musical
Prince
merit.
album, it reminds me of like last year the Prince album was in the changer all the time. It pissed me. I was so sick of Prince, and so I got so sick of it. I taped it, I like duct taped it up under the counter so no one could find it and put it back in the player.
I remember that. So my top 8, or I guess it's really a top 9 because I picked one that was an honorable mention, and
So I think I say that's just number 9.
okay, that's 9,
and we're just gonna fill in your 10 with Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly."
okay, done. Okay, so and also mine are not necessarily really in an order because I think I have a top 2, but I don't really have like a clear defined number 1. So I'll just start sort of from the bottom of my list and I'll move up. So my number 10, Kendrick Lamar's "Pimp a Butterfly." My number 9,
Your proxy vote.
yeah. My number 9, which was my honorable mention, was actually Grimes' "Art Angels." I really enjoyed that record, like a lot more than I thought I was going to. We played that in the store,
A lot. It's still in the player.
it's still in the player, yeah. And a funny story about that, really quick, is that before I had ever listened to it, an article came up about Grimes, and I had never listened to her music or anything. I had just read the article, and I actually forwarded it to Erin, and I said, "Hey, I think I found an artist that you might like because she likes a lot of pop music." And afterwards, I think the next day I came into work and the promo had come up, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is that person that I sent that article," and we listened to it, and I just genuinely was surprised by how much I enjoyed the record, and it was something I didn't think I was going to like as much as I did. So, Grimes,
Cool.
number 9.
Number 9.
So my number 8, we'll call it my number 8, was Intronaut, "The Direction of Last Things." Just really enjoyed that record. I felt like that band on this record, I liked them before, but I felt like this was their most cohesive record. And this felt like I found like the band finally came together and kind of found their sweet spot as a band. And I really liked it. Which I think I gave that record to you, right?
Yeah. You got me into that one.
Cool. Let's see. 7. I've lost track of my numbers. I'll just start saying them until I get to, I'll just say my 2 and my 3.
Okay.
Or my 1 and my 2, I guess, in this case. Mutoid Man's "Bleeder." Mutoid Man fucking rules.
Were they on your list last year too? Did they have an album last year?
Maybe they were. Yeah, their first record. Might have
Okay.
been, might
Yeah.
have
That
been
was last year.
their first
think so.
album, yeah. Because Bleeder's their new one.
Yeah, that's a good record.
Yeah,
It's on my honorable mentions.
cool. They're just everything I like. Like, I love all the guys in that band, and their album just is like nonstop. It just rips the whole time. And it's a good one. High on Fire's "Luminiferous." I just like Matt Pike and High on Fire a lot. There's no real big in-depth discussion into that. It just was a great fucking record.
You're a fan.
And
It was a record.
yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan, and I just really, I like as they've grown. I think I like each thing they do, each newer album more than the last one. They're just getting better, like with each thing that they put out. Between the Buried and Me, but Coma Ecliptic. And no surprise to anyone, I'm a big Between the Buried and Me fan. And this was their second album, I believe, on Metal Blade Records. They switched record labels and have really next leveled and really gone in a very clear, different direction with their music. It's very similar still, but clearly, like, they just refined and have a thing that they want to do, and I just really feel like this was them nailing it.
That's why I need to listen to it again, because I remember I listened to the promo when we got it in, and it didn't do it for me. So
It took me
check it out again.
It took me a bunch of listens, truthfully. Like I really liked the Parallax, both the Parallaxes. I mean, I love their older albums. I love Colors and the Great Misdirect. I even love the old stuff a lot, but like this one, especially compared to like the Parallax, which was very progressive oriented, this was clearly a prog album.
Yep.
Like this was like they're like, we're not fucking writing breakdowns. We're not doing anything, but we're just doing what we want to do, and we want to be a prog band. And it was just fucking great. I picked a band that I don't know if any of you guys have listened to this, but there's a band called Carved Up out of Philly, and they put out a record called Matador, and I just genuinely really fucking love that band. My band has played with them a bunch of times, and this record, I'm just always happy when they put stuff out. They put stuff out very kind of sporadically, and I'm never really sure whether they're ever going to put stuff out ever again, and so I always get excited when they put new things out, and they actually put out a whole new record on a label, and it's just good. They're just a really good band. Every time I hear their tunes, they're just so fucking good. And I will play that. I don't know if I gave you guys a copy or played it for you.
I don't think
guys,
so. It doesn't sound familiar.
yeah, I will bring it in so you guys can listen and check them out. And I guess that brings me. Ken Mode's Success. I'm a big Ken Mode fan, and this was the album they recorded with Steve Albini, and just the tones on this record, so good.
I didn't listen to that one at all.
I'm keeping my descriptions short, except for the top two. Really, is what I'm doing.
Ken Mode though reminds me of like, it sounds like something related to Barbie.
They get that a lot. Yeah. I don't even know what that one means. All right, and my number one and number two, which I'm sure are going to be. Is that a drum roll?
It was a drum roll.
My number one and number two, I'm sure are going to be no surprise to anyone. Baroness's Purple, I'll say, is my number two. And only because it came out a few days ago.
Yeah.
We didn't get a promo of it. I had no advance listen. I've only had it, I guess it's been 3 days now.
Yeah.
And I just really have always loved that band. I love their style. I love their aesthetic. I love their sound. And this was, a lot of people hated on Yellow and Green, or I should say, at least like in my
Really liked Yellow and Green.
in my like sphere of influence. A lot of people hated on it. I like Yellow and Green a lot, and I think there's a lot of
It's very epic.
yeah.
Well, epic's the wrong
There's a lot
word.
of
It's
depth to it.
There's a lot of
Layers.
crescendos.
Like an ogre and an onion.
Like they took a lot of chances on it, and that's kind of what I like about it. They experimented a lot, and there's a huge range of sounds on that record. And you know, obviously they went through a lot of tragedy in the past couple of years, and have been dealing with a lot. And they really just came together and put together just a good fucking rock record, just a good album. And my favorite is, I remember when we listened to it in the store. We got it in the store and we put it on, and there's a song on it that I don't even know the song titles yet, but there was a song that I remember, like, as soon as it came on, I remember like bobbing in my head, and I think I looked at you specifically,
Yeah,
Berto, and I
yeah.
was like, "This is the riff, dude. This is the one. Oh, it's so good. They fucking found it."
Yep. Sweet spot right there.
Yeah. And I'm so excited for whatever is going to be the next one. Like, obviously they have 2 new members in the band, and
I heard Fuchsia is coming out next.
isn't that in the Purple range?
It's an EP.
It's an EP.
Oh, okay, okay. But I really like Purple a lot, and every time I listen to it, it's grown on me. And I saw them last night. Part of the reason my voice sounds as shitty is because I have been sick the past couple days, and went to see Baroness last night and sang my face off at that show, and I'm still recovering my voice a little bit.
Your face is back though.
That's good. That's a plus. I don't have much going for me. My face,
Dad jokes over there.
one of them.
Yeah. I'm really tired.
But I saw them last night, and I feel like also that really helped me gain a appreciation for the new songs, because I think there's something to be said for not just hearing a record and, you know, giving it a few listens in a few different environments, so you kind of appreciate it in different ways, but also seeing how a band does it live. And there was even whatever the last song is. There's like a mellow song that's the last song.
Yeah.
They did that
Yeah.
live.
You mentioned that earlier,
And I didn't think they were going to, and they did, and it put like this whole new spin on the song. Just the way that there was so much passion in it when they performed it together. And I just remember going like, it's so fucking good. I get it now. Like, I get what you guys were doing, and it's good. It's good. I might regret this, next year. Like I said, I'm doing it on 3 days of listening, so it's really kind of a raw sort of feel. But obviously, I'm a huge Baroness fan as it is, and I was really hoping that we were going to get the album before we recorded this podcast, so I could see if it was going to make my top 10 list. And yeah, I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah,
being
they got
there.
it right in under the wire.
Yeah,
They knew they were meeting our deadline.
We waited for it to come out.
dude, as did so
That's
much
true.
of
Yeah,
the
because
rock
we
and
were
metal
scheduled to
community.
do this last week.
Yeah. And I guess that means my number one.
Yeah, it seems anticlimactic now. You're just like, well, I'm done.
And my number one is Torch's Restarter.
Was this year?
That was this year.
I forgot
Shit.
that was this year.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one too.
That
was a really good record.
That record to me was like Torch's, for lack of a better term, it was like their return to form. Like it was definitely them pulling way more of their sort of like older Torch influences and meshing them with the new Torch. Like obviously they have a new guitar player who I like a lot, and I really liked Harmonicraft. I really liked kind of the
I like that one
direction.
too.
They went on a very different direction on that, and then on this one they just were like, no. Fuck you. We're going to be the heaviest goddamn band that ever existed. Here it is. Boom. And
I mean, you liked it so much, you got like 15 copies of it, right?
that's true. I got 80,000 different versions. I got every color, partly by accident.
Do you have every color?
No, I don't have every color. No.
There's some he still seeks.
I have, I think I have 4 copies of it at home. Stupid
Been
website
there.
pre-ordering bullshit. But yeah, and that's the one that again, Baroness is new, so I'm sort of that might be the main reason I'm relegating it to number 2. But for Restarter, like I can listen to that whole record straight through, and like every track is great. Whatever it's on, I never skip. I will listen to it regularly, and they're easy to sing along to. They're great tunes. They're so heavy. Like the boom string, it's another thing where like they found their sweet spot. Hearing those songs live again was similar to Baroness, was such like a cool experience, and to get it, it's just they're so tight and they've nailed it. I really liked it.
Nailed it.
That was the one that resonated the most with me this year, and I'm conflicted about my list.
You're
I
just
said,
putting it at number 1. That's all.
yeah.
Cool.
So that's
That's your list?
that's my list.
Cool. It's a solid list.
Thanks.
Too short. You didn't really accomplish your task. But, I gave it a C.
Look,
not
I'm the
following
one
directions.
I'm the one who put Kendrick Lamar on there, so fuck you guys.
Because you had
I
room
think we
for
did,
it.
actually.
Me and Obama.
We proxied it on there.
That's true. It was you had no part of that. I will go second. Because I'm at the center of the L here. I have 10 albums plus an honorable mention, and they are in ranked order. Which the order was tough. The order is always tough, I find.
Yeah, order was tough, man.
I do have an honorable mention. I'm throwing it in there because I think it's going to be good, but I literally only started listening to it today,
Oh.
and that is
Wow, you picked. Okay,
Well, no, I'm
shitting on him for fucking
Yeah.
working on this thing now, and you're telling us that you
I
added
had
one
10
today.
before this.
Oh my god.
But Ennio Morricone, you guys, I'm a soundtrack nerd, and Ennio Morricone
Oh, we know.
scored The Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino's new forthcoming film, and it's the first time he's done a Western score in 30 years, and it is also Quentin Tarantino's first time commissioning a score for his film.
You say Quentino?
Yeah.
Did I?
You did say
You're
Quintino.
breathing.
It's getting late.
I
Quentin Tarantino's first time commissioning a score for a film.
I think also
I
on
like
the,
Quintino.
Tarantino?
I think on the dork side you called him J-Brums.
Yeah, you did.
You left out a whole J
You
in his
J-
name.
We're
J.
tight
Abrams.
like that. We're tight. He likes it.
You and J-Brums?
Abrams.
All
I
right.
just want to say that what is it? Quintino?
Quintino?
Quentino?
It sounds like something. It sounds like a pizza roll.
You
You like put it in the oven.
you have a
Hey.
fuzz on your hair.
You want to heat up some Quintinos, bro?
Yeah. Sounds delicious. Anyway, so it's a cool setup, and I want to know. I'm curious to say I've listened to it like once, and I want to keep listening to it and see if it is as cool as it is set up to be. Kind of, an epic combo right there. Quintino and Morricone.
So it's an honorable mention because you just haven't had time to
Right. I haven't had
listen
time
to it more than
it.
once.
Exactly. So my number 10 is... You shut up. You had 8. My number 10 was
fair.
Death Cab for Cutie's album this year.
Kintsugi.
Yeah.
Kintsugi. I can't not say it like that.
I thought it was a good album. It kind of went back to the sound they had when they did Plans, which is probably one of my favorite records by them.
You think it's Plans like?
I think it's very reminiscent of Plans.
Plans-ish?
It wasn't as
Plantains?
the tracks weren't as like long and experimental as on
Transcendent.
what came after Plans?
Planet Fitness?
No, the one with the bridge.
Narrow Stairs?
Narrow Stairs. Yeah,
I really like Narrow Stairs.
Plans at wings.
and I see how this is going. Fine.
Yeah. Well, now I want to listen to
Solo.
it again. I forgot that record came out this year.
It's,
I don't really like Death Cab, but I don't want to say I didn't love the record, but I didn't.
it felt refreshing to me because I wasn't sure because the last record, Codes and Keys,
Yeah, I didn't
was
really
disappointing.
love that
I didn't
one.
really like that one.
But this is the first one without Chris Walla,
True. Yeah.
so I was a little put off by that. But I guess you don't need the Walla to be out there.
I guess not.
Follow-up question. Who's Chris Walla?
He was a guitar player for, I would say multi-instrumentalist for Death Cab for Cutie, who recently left, and he was actually the one who produced most of their records, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But
But at the same time, sorry, not to interrupt.
No.
Now I'm putting together the code for the codes and the keys for why my list may be wrong. Because I forgot that he just got divorced from Zoe Deschanel, so there must be some good writing on there that I'm not remembering.
it's a pretty
And
good
she
album.
just had a kid,
Yeah.
so that's gotta be fucked up.
Was it his kid?
I don't know the answer. I don't think so.
My number 9 was The Sword with High Country. That's just a good fucking record. Like, it's rocking. It's got everything that I love about The Sword. It's just solid. Yeah.
I don't want to be negative, but I just didn't see what all the Sword hype was about. It just didn't
I think
resonate
you've never
with
been
me.
into the Sword.
No. I like the Sword a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Like Age of Winners, a lot of their early stuff, up to what was the one with the spaceship on the cover? That was the
Apocrypha?
Warp Riders.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Warp Riders was the last one I really got into. And this one was just so much more like I don't want to say negative things. Like I don't think it's a bad record. It's just different. And they're going in like a direction.
It's like a 70s feel to it.
Yeah.
It had a very
It's
like Sabbathy.
It's
70s
almost.
feel.
I
Yeah.
almost feel like it's like it has like a campy movie sort of feel to it.
It's a good record, and I totally have it like nothing negative.
Like,
it didn't make it in my top 10 for sure, and I hate to be the guy who says that I like their old stuff better, but I
that's
guess
fair.
I'm going to be that guy.
Classic.
It's fair. You can suck my sword.
Classic record store.
I know.
Record
Oh,
store.
You can suck my sword.
All right, continue.
It's okay. They're only number 9. Number 8 is Father John Misty with I Love You, Honeybear. And this one, it took me a while to get into. Like, Justin's been listening to that pretty much since it came out.
I'm
And-
going to refrain from commentary on this one.
I know you've, yes. And we listened to it in the store, and I mean, we're always talking about how listening to a record for the first time in the store is tough because there's a lot going on. If you got, these douchebag customers coming in trying to give you money, it
Edit.
distracts you. These douchebag customers coming in trying to ask questions.
Edit.
It distracts you.
Edit.
These charming customers coming in and having wonderful conversations that you care about deeply, profoundly, and you just want to take your attention away from the record.
Edit.
This is another one that's like Kendrick Lamar, where Father John Misty was like number 2 on everyone's
It was
list.
on a lot of lists.
I was
yeah.
supposed to bring you the promo to listen to, and I never did. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. I just streamed it and listened to it. And it's another one for me that, like, I like it. I certainly don't feel it's, like, the number 1 or number 2 album of the year. And I would, again, like, similar to Kendrick Lamar, I was like, did I just miss something? Was there something that happened that
when
I
it first
was
came out, I couldn't get
asleep
into
on
it
or something?
And I finally, like a couple weeks ago, I just bought the record. And I'm like, I'm going to take this home. It's on so many lists this year. I need to listen to it. And I did. And the writing is great. Like, the songwriting is great.
His fucking lyrics are so good, and that's the one thing I loved. Like, when we listened to it in the store, like, his writing is so sharp and
Yep.
so fucking brutal and done in such a perfect way. I appreciate that so much about
it
him.
lost a couple points just for like I don't feel like the composition of the album didn't keep me hooked through the whole thing. So it lost me some points there. I don't think it could have been better composed. I just said that to piss him off.
Yeah.
But no,
Now you're just
it lost
making
me at points.
Now you're just saying antagonistic things to get JJL riled up for his top 10 list.
It lost me points, but the writing's great. I mean, it's a solid album.
7.
7. 7 is Tribulation's Children of the Night, which I had forgotten about for a while. It's a metal album that came out earlier
I
this
forgot
year.
about it too.
Now he's being spiteful and grumpy.
See, you got him all mad because you talk shit about Papa John Missy. Now he's going to fucking ruin the whole podcast.
It's a good metal album. It's dark. They shred at points. There's some.
Is that the one that had like it like covers like wings, like a body with big black wings going?
Yeah.
McCartney and
Yeah.
Wings.
Yeah, Paul McCartney on it.
The Tribulations of Yoko.
It was just it's a cool record. Like it got every time it started to get like a little too crazy, they pulled it back well and got more melodic, and they had a really good balance to it.
That was another one that was on a bazillion lists, and I just never listened to it.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
good.
just ran out of time. It was one that I wanted to check out, but
I'll bring it in sometime. Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm in.
We should play our top 10. Let's like have a day where
We should. Yeah.
Okay, anyone who's coming in, we're going to say Wednesday is just going to be top 10 albums day this week.
Okay.
It'll be tomorrow. By the time you listen to this podcast, it'll be tomorrow. So come in tomorrow and listen to the top 10 albums.
Number
We're
6.
play them all at once.
Can we say that legally, or do we have to like pay royalties once we actually say that on a podcast?
No.
Okay.
If you
fuck
happen
it.
to wander in, it's just some guys listening to music. My number 6 is actually Adele's 25. The first time I listened to it was actually with you, and I think it was the first time you'd ever listened to an Adele record.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that into it then. I remember we talked to Billy about it when he came in, and I wasn't behind it. Like, I said I'd listen to it, and it was a record. It was by Adele. There's a lot of hype behind it. And I've been listening to it, and it's good. It's a good record all the way through. Like, her voice is incredible. Like, no one can fault her voice. But the composition's good. Like, I mean, it's typical Adele. Like, it's kind of cheesy songwriting, a little bit sad, a little bit mopey, but it's a well-written record.
I was pleasantly surprised with the new Adele. Mm-hmm. I think we did talk about this in the last podcast, actually.
might
Because I
have.
think we listened to it that day, and then we recorded the podcast.
Yeah, okay.
But I've been curious since then to see how much of the music, like guitar playing, instrumentation, she was actually involved with. I was curious to know, like, on those, there's like one song that's just a guitar and her. If
I know she
played
plays
guitar.
piano. I don't know if she
Yeah.
does anything else.
Like
That's actually a digression, I believe, from her past albums, where a lot of it's just been her and a piano. Mm-hmm. There's more instrumentation. It's a little poppier. She gets, it's more electronic bits in some of the songs, which is good. Like, she's experimenting a bit more, which is cool. And it's still the number 1 record in the fucking world right now.
Yeah.
But only number 6 for me.
Suck it, Michael Jackson.
Boom. Number 5 is Baroness Purple. And we've been listening to it pretty much since it came out last week. Mm-hmm. And it's solid. Like, the tracks are great. It has everything, like all the great elements of the past Baroness records tied into one. The only place it loses points for me is brevity. And it's the same comment I had about the Smashing Pumpkins album last year. It's a great record, but it's short.
That's how I felt as well. The first time we listened to it.
Like, Yellow and Green was so epic and like had so much depth to it. And Purple, it felt like it could go there, and then they robbed you of that second LP.
I think it's a weird comparison though, because Yellow and Green's a double record.
It is, but Purple is so good, it left me wanting more of this era of their career.
I mean, that's, to me, is like the ultimate compliment that you can pay to them, is saying, hey, your record was so good that I just wanted more of
I
it.
want more.
That's a hell of a compliment.
Stop being selfish.
Come on, guys.
Give it to me.
So that was my number 5. Number 4 was Marilyn Manson's Pale Emperor.
Really?
Yep. We've talked in the past on the podcast about, like music we've grown up with and stuff like that. And I know we talked about Manson. But I will be the first to admit like the last 10 years, he has sucked. Like his records have sucked. I think I bought
High End of Low.
High End of no, I didn't even buy High End. What was before that one?
Born Villain.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I might have those backwards, actually.
There were 3 albums of his that were just consecutively terrible.
Born Villain, High End of Low, and the one with,
Eat Me, Drink Me.
Yeah,
Is
that
the one
was
last
okay.
one I bought. That's the last one I got, and it was good. It was okay, and from there it kind of went downhill for like 2 or 3 albums, and it felt like even he wasn't into being Marilyn Manson anymore. Like he wasn't into his career.
Yeah, maybe he's just stuck in that role.
And this one, he collaborated throughout the entire process with Tyler Bates, who
Who is?
does a lot of soundtracks.
That was Berto jerking off to Tyler Bates.
Who's done a lot of soundtracks for like 300 and Watchmen and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
And is a pretty accomplished guitar player. He actually was Manson's touring guitarist for this tour. But
what happened to John 5?
John 5's not with him anymore.
Yeah,
Really?
There was a split.
Jordy White still there?
No, he's with. Is he back? He was.
He was.
Back
He
again,
played with.
yeah.
Twiggy was there.
He was there.
He was there.
Didn't play. He was just there.
He was just hanging out.
Yeah.
But I think like an interview I read with Manson regarding this album was that Tyler Bates basically went up to Manson at one point and was like, "Listen, you've sucked. You're better than this. You can make a good record again." And this album was definitely what I would call a comeback record, and it was awesome. Like it's got all the old kind of grunginess that Manson's been known for. The lyrics are great. The songwriting's cool. And you could just feel that he was back in his game.
Cool.
So it was cool. So that was my number 4. Number 3 is Jason Isbell's Something More Than Free.
Good record.
It is a good record. And I remember Justin and I first heard clips from the record at a conference we were at last spring. And we got like the sampler. And it was in my car all summer. Like almost on repeat all summer. It's just good fucking record. It had a few more hooks than his first album. Like it got a little more upbeat, a little more to pull you in. And it's just killer. Like his songwriting's awesome. It was really the first time I ever listened to him. I went back and listened to Southeastern, which came out prior to that one. And I mean, he's been around in the scene forever. But it was the first time I gave him any kind of solid listening and
Like a good listen.
a good listen. Yeah, put some time into it. And the single from that record, 24 Frames, is just great. It's an amazing song. And the whole album's full of him. Very Americana-esque. Like you could put him in with country, but he's more Americana. Like you get that kind of heartland feel. Not in a shitty like John Mellencamp way.
Don't you talk shit about Cougar, okay?
I'll talk shit about whoever.
You leave Cougar out of this.
My number 2 is a soundtrack, of course, to A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. And it's a soundtrack to an Iranian vampire movie. And the movie came out last year, and I researched this extensively. The soundtrack did not formally release until 2015. But the movie came out in 2014. And it's not entire. There's some score bits, and there's some, comp stuff from different artists. And it's really cool music from like the Middle East because it's made by an Iranian director. The movie's in Arabic. And
Did you see the movie?
I did. I
What'd you
watched
think
it
of the
on
movie?
Prime. The movie's awesome.
Cool.
And it's really cool, and it's really originally done. Like it's set up like, oh, it's another vampire movie. Boo. But the vampire in it is a Muslim woman, and uses the burqa.
Whoa. First of all, spoiler alert.
She's on the cover.
Are you going to ruin the movie for
No,
me?
I will not ruin the movie.
Okay, go ahead.
She uses her burqa symbolically the way like old Dracula movies use the cape. Like she uses it as a part of her character, and it's not just there because it's an Iranian film. Like she uses that as part of who she is and her character. It's really cool.
It's a good way to block the sun if you're a vampire. Just
Right?
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also rides a skateboard.
Cool. I'm in.
So it's an awesome soundtrack. I listen to it all the time. I probably one of the things most played on my record player this year. And my number one was really surprising to me.
To yourself.
To myself.
You surprised yourself.
It's one of those things I've been driving around for the past like 2 weeks. It hasn't left my CD player, and I only recently realized like, oh shit, I haven't taken this out.
Okay, so it came out 2 weeks ago.
No, it's been out for a while, and I actually picked it up when it came out because I like the single that was on the radio. It's Lord Huron's "Strange Trails."
Lord Huron or Lord Huron?
Huron.
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 Okay.
Huron, like the
Lake, like the Great Lake, or the tribe of Native Americans. And it's really good. It's got some kind of typical like hooks, that's kind of the Mumfordy kind of sound that you got these days. A little folky, a little rocky. A lot at the first few times I listened to it, a lot of the songs sound the same in a really good way. They almost wrote it like they were writing a musical. Like there are reprises of riffs that they pulled into the story of their albums and their songs early on, and they kind of reappear later on with different lyrics in a different way or different instrumentations, same riffs, and the composition of it's incredible. Like start to finish, you can get pulled in, like, oh, this riff sounds familiar, but it's a new song. It's still awesome. And it took me completely by surprise. I came out, I liked the single, I put the CD in my car, it's been kind of floating around there for a while, and I put it back in a few weeks ago, and it's just enjoyable on repeat for like 2 weeks.
I have no follow-up questions. Shit. JJ, you want to do yours?
Sure.
Cool.
All right. I'd like to start by saying that my only definite position was number one. Everything else was up in the air until tonight.
So you and me had very similar list styles.
I had more than enough.
I'm the only one here who gives a shit about the rules.
No. I took the time to put the rest of mine in order, just saying that my definite absolute was number one.
Okay.
Well, first I'm going to go through my honorable mentions, which I think Berto and I overlap on a few, and even JB and I overlap on some.
Ooh.
These are in absolutely no order, but maybe in order of release, because that's how I typed them in here. But
okay.
Marilyn Manson, Pale Emperor. It's an honorable mention. Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band, So Delicious.
Oh,
Just a fun record, but I didn't throw it in the top 10. Courtney Barnett. Sometimes I sit and think, and sometimes I just sit. Or something like that. Good record. Just
Just a good record.
good record.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Uncle Acid, Night Creeper.
Oh, that was good.
It's on there. I just, this might be on me. Maybe I just didn't give it enough listens for it to make my full-on top 10. Full-blown top 10.
That's came close to mine. Yeah, it was considered.
That's another one for me that I just didn't listen to enough.
Yeah.
And it's one that sort of wish I had more time.
I purchased it, and I listened to it when it came out, and then I just kind of put it down. Maybe that says something. I don't know. Next one, Baroness Purple. I really like the record, but I haven't really listened to the record. And I need to do that. Next, Mutoid Man, Bleeder. Really, JB introduced me to the record. Fucking couldn't get enough of it, and then I lost the CD. So,
So you had enough of it.
yeah, I don't know where it went, but also Jason Isbell, Something More Than Free. Couldn't put it down after we got a promo copy of it. And this one, I really like it. I think just by its nature, I couldn't put it on the top 10. But Ryan Adams' cover of Taylor Swift's 1989.
I waffled a lot about putting that on my top 10.
It's good.
It's
genuinely
really good. Yeah.
But I discluded it simply for the fact that it's a covers record from start to finish.
Okay.
I felt like, you know what, if that album had come out this year, maybe, but that album came out in 2014, so.
Ooh.
Oh, I never explained my standard. Explain your standard for what made your list. Because JB had his standard.
I would say that the things that actually made my list, in some way or another, blew me away. Like, could not stop listening to the record, was surprised at the record, maybe it was even a new find for me. Just, there's artists that I love that came out with records this year that are on my list, but then there's some artists that are at the top of my list that maybe I wasn't as familiar with, but I gave the record a chance and just holy shit. Cool. So without further ado, number 10, Coheed and Cambria, Color Before the Sun. I kind of put Coheed down for a little while. Not in words, just I put him on the shelf.
You guys suck.
Nope. Just, I feel like at some point Coheed grew up, and I grew up, and now we're maybe reconverging again. Like we're crossing paths again. I really enjoy the new record. I've heard it a few too many times lately, but
it's because we don't. We are notorious for not
it's
changing
just
our
been
rotation.
in the CD player at the store for like a month now, and number 9. Now technically, not a new album, but never before issued until just a couple months ago, maybe a month ago. That would be Neil Young and the Blue Notes, live at the Blue Note Cafe.
Oh, fuck, that's killer, yeah.
They're recording it from 1988, I believe. But just the album, holy shit. I'm not sure I've ever heard Neil have as much fun as I feel like he's having on that record. And it's so much fun. Number 8, this one, their second album ever. First album in 14 years, I believe. So this is a big comeback. But Desaparecidos Paola. Holy fuck. It's such a good record.
I have not even heard of that one.
It's Conor Oberst.
I must have missed that. That must have been my
It's one of his
period
many
away.
side
Your
projects.
Dark Ages.
Yeah,
We don't speak of those.
I know.
I'll have to play it. It's just, man.
Well, Wednesday, dude. We're doing
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking
Top
of
10
it,
Wednesday.
I gotta unpack my records so I can
Top
actually bring
Tens
them.
Day.
Oh.
Oh.
Hashtag Top 10 Wednesday. Or Tens Day.
Just that record, like, it's basically a political band. Conor Oberst fronted, and it's not Bright Eyesy in any way. It's just it's just so good and topical.
Cool.
Do you know what Desaparecidos means?
That disappeared. There's a line in the first record where he says, "You don't make a rock record, but they disappeared."
Do you know what it's from originally?
No, I do not.
Historically? It was the, in like Argentina and Chile under the dictators down there.
Wow.
The babies that were stolen were called the disappeared generation because they were pulled from their parents.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that gives whole new meaning to the first record. Read music, speak Spanish.
Si, senor.
Number 7, surprised not to hear on either of your lists. Clutch, Psychic Warfare.
You want to know the truth? I didn't listen to that record until today.
Really?
That was in my dark ages.
Huh.
I missed that whole
Which we
album
don't speak of.
until right now.
So good. So good.
My
And
Voldemort
That was
period.
good, yeah.
I could have easily put it higher on my list, but I chose not to because there was some other, like, I knew the Clutch record was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good. So I ranked some other things higher. Number 6, Modest Mouse, Strangers to Ourselves. Isaac Brock, always a prolific writer. Gets me with that every time. And
Forgot about that one too.
yeah, it's... number 5, the Punch Brothers, Phosphorescent Blues. Great record. Very mellow, I'd say, for the Punch Brothers. But just we saw them. Roberto and I went and saw them a week ago today, actually. And they were amazing live. They're five-member band playing around one mic for an entire show, 2 hours. It was fantastic, and the record is great. And the second track, Julep, it makes me very emotional each time I hear it. Number 4, The Sword, High Country. Just fucking great record. The hooks, the keyboard. I generally don't like keyboard, but I think it was used really well on this
How
record.
can you not like keyboard?
Just
You bite your tongue, sir.
anyone out there, feel free to challenge me, but I'm not a yes guy. I can't get into yes.
It's okay. I'm not a rock flute guy. I can't do Jethro Tull. Not any day of the week.
Okay, number 3, a new band for me, but a band that's been around a while, and I've tasted the honey now. The Decemberists. What a terrible world. What a beautiful world. man, just a great record. Lyrically, just prolific. I like the snarky undertones that are going on the record, and it's pretty long. There's some.
Yeah, that's one I haven't listened to enough this year.
It's
I keep missing. Like we keep selling our copy or something like that, and I keep missing it.
It's a record that every time I put it on the store, we sell a copy, at least one copy. Like when it first came out, I was playing it pretty nonstop, and we kept reordering. It kept going off the shelf.
See, and that's a funny thing that you bring up because for maybe what are obvious reasons, like I tend to listen to lyrics last. Like I listen to melodies and music 80%, and then lyrics to me are like the back 20 of what pull me into music.
I'm a lyrics guy.
And yeah, I just like I'm like a melody guy. I'm like a music guy.
I mean, they'll have to work together. Obviously, I'm not discounting music
yeah.
in any way, but you know, I hear a line, and I just I think, you clever fuck. You know what I mean? Like you're using words that I know, but you put them together so beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 2. Really excited about this
Big
record.
2.
Silversun Pickups, Better Nature.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Wow.
It's god damn, it's good. It's like, okay, so I'll say it. Their last record, Neck of the Woods. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it either. And
I listened a couple times and kind of passed it
yeah,
over.
like the more I listen to it, the more I like it. But anyway, Better Nature, what a return! They left their label. I think that was a big thing they did. And I don't know, that's about all I know about production wise of the album. But the thing I love about Silversun Pickups is they build and they build and they build, and these songs just get so big, and you're just ready. You're ready for that wave to break, and it doesn't happen. It just sort of ebbs back, and it's just the best cock tease. You know what I'm saying?
See, it's funny because when I was working a job, when I was working at a different job when I think their last record came out, and I was working with a guy who loved them and only played that fucking record
Neck of the Woods.
nonstop. And so I have a very clear perception of what I think Silversun Pickups, I guess at this point, was about. And so now that you're describing it this way, now I'm kind of curious. I kind of immediately panned it, partially because I was so overexposed to it at the time that I just was like, I don't give a shit about this band. Like, I've heard enough. I clearly know what they're about. But maybe that was just or I shouldn't say maybe, that was my predisposition because of what my experience was with it before.
Yeah, your judgment.
Yeah, exactly. But now knowing about there's been big changes and
I don't even know if necessarily there's big changes. It's just like
I'd say it was a return to form because some of
it
the
was
early
definitely
records
a return
are
to like
so killer.
Their first 2 records and even their first EP are they're great, and they all have that thing. Like I just love about them. There's like they have this ability to restrain themselves when you want it to just go balls out and just crash down. They keep it together, and then they dial it back in, and I love that. And lyrically, it's a beautiful record. And you know what it has? It really has big hooks, like the choruses in a lot of the songs. You're just like, yeah, give me more. All right, number 1. Let's have it out.
all right.
Father John Misty, I love you, Honeybear.
Number 1.
Number 1.
You and Rolling Stone and every other fucking
You know what?
magazine.
I didn't read a single list that was by a magazine or a website or anything. Don't give a fuck. It's my number 1.
That's what all the people who won't be listening to this podcast will be saying.
I have never listened to the Fleet Foxes. I hadn't heard his first record until I purchased this record. Man, that like the thing I think I thought so many times the first couple times I listened to this record were, you clever bastard. Like, you clever bastard.
You know what's funny is when I think of that record, it actually is what I think you like. Like, musically and lyrically, like the thing I like the most about him is, like I said earlier, it was like his like really sharp and really brutal lyrics.
So brutal.
And he presents this in like this
They're
perfect
very
way
witty too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so witty.
yeah.
It's so relentless.
Yeah. And this is what
It's so funny.
like when I think about you, that's what I think of. I'm like, JJ loves this record.
Oh God, I love that record so much. So much to the point where Erin is completely sick of it. Like she's like, enough with the Father John already.
You play that nonstop when it first came out, and I was
could not stop
like,
listening
nope,
to
I
it.
can't. I gotta tune it out.
It's just, and like, I here's what I really want to disagree with. You said you didn't like the composition of the record,
It lost me toward the end.
the flow, but the end is the best part. When you get to Holy Shit and Bored in the USA.
Born in the USA,
Yeah.
I liked.
But like Holy Shit into Bored in the USA, one of the best 1-2s, like 1-2s on an album that I can think of. Like they are a perfect pair. And then he brings it down where what's I can't remember the name of the last track.
I've only listened to it a few times now.
Something on the way home, and it's like this just really. The last song is actually like this sort of beautiful ballad where he's saying like he sees a girl in a parking lot, and that's really all it is. But he sees her, and obviously I'm assuming he thinks she's attractive, and he goes in, he spirals into this whole thing about what their life together could be, and like they find love, they build a life. You know, he's talking about, you know, we let the front lawn grow until we don't need signs that say keep out anymore. Like that's how she's his private thing, and they're keeping together. And then it comes back around to all because I went to the store.
Oh yeah.
And he says, I'll see you around. What's your name? It's a perfect record.
Then he follows her home, sits in her driveway.
Takes a dark turn.
I think that's an Alanis Morissette song, actually. It's called Your House. Google it.
Oh.
I remember that song.
Well, not to detract from Father John Misty, but
Talk about Alanis
Alanis
Morissette.
Morissette has an a cappella track called Your House, I believe, in which it's about her like walking into somebody's house or somebody walking into her house and like getting naked and taking a shower and just kind of hanging around in their apartment.
Oh, I do remember
kind
that
of a
song
creepy-
now. Yeah,
Being a creep.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, but Father John Misty, #1 record of the year, hands down.
See, and that's one thing I wish I had. I wish I had one that to me, like,
That's my definite.
was my clear and defined, like, you know, breakout, blown away #1 album.
Like I
this year.
put Punch Brothers at #5, I think it was. But say we hadn't seen them last week, maybe it would have been a little lower on my list.
They're
I'm not
fresh
sure.
in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot that I thought were really good, and I certainly don't mean that in a negative way. I just, I had trouble ranking mine, really. I guess that's really like the core of what I'm getting at. Is
Yeah.
I had trouble ranking mine.
It's hard to rank, but
Yeah.
it's you can't cop out and say
It's tough. Yeah,
no
I mean, I
order.
know.
I think saying in no particular order is a cop out.
I think my like the #2, the Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, is probably the one that like I was most enthusiastic about when I listened to it. Like, this is awesome, but the Lord Huron became so comfortable. Like it's a comfortable record. I think is the best thing I can say about it.
Well,
right.
this feels cathartic.
Oh,
We're putting it all out there. Like, I've been holding on to my to my list for weeks.
we've been
All
talking about
year,
this
really,
for
but
weeks.
I've known my #1, and I'm pretty sure I didn't say it to anybody. I might have mentioned it, but
No,
I think I assumed
we had a little conversation.
Yeah, I think I
in
might have
the car.
assumed.
there definitely hasn't been like a predetermined thing. We didn't go over our list with each other before this
No,
podcast.
no.
This
We
was
just-
unrehearsed.
Yeah.
In fact, I literally wrote my list on the way while waiting for JB to get here
You were writing your list when we first started recording the podcast this evening.
3 hours ago.
Yeah. All right, so that is our top 10 lists. We still would love to hear yours.
Yeah, we still want yours.
Yep.
If you have, tell us what you were listening to this year. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what affected you. Tell us what resonated with you.
Tell us what you hated.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
record absolutely were you just like, that's a fucking turd of a record right there?
Tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah. Oh, and actually something that I thought about that we should have thrown in. Favorite reissue this year.
I thought about favorite reissue. Yeah, there's so many other things. Though. Favorite record store day piece,
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now I'm just gonna do a quick hashtag search of DS Top 10 2015.
Okay.
I just want to see like where some of our releases rank, our picks rank to compared to other people's. Wow, there's 22 posts with that hashtag.
Wow. We got a pretty wide range of lists, actually, which I was really happy with. We got a lot of people who listened to a lot of really different things who submitted. And even still, I feel like there was still a lot of crossover. There's still a lot of like very common things. Like Father John Misty, I think, made it onto just about everybody's list.
Right up there with Kendrick Lamar.
Yep, I see.
Duking it out for
I
number
think
one.
Kendrick Lamar might be on more people's list than Father John Misty. First one I'm looking at here is Sarah's list, a.k.a. the Pizza Clown. A.k.a. the Scissor Wizard. She's got Kendrick Lamar at number 5. Let's see. We've got Alex Semino. Okay, she agreed with me. Father John Misty, I Love You, Honeybear, number 1. She has no Kendrick Lamar, though. Let's see. Melly, we've got... Melly wrote a really nice thing in her post on Instagram. She ended it with, at Darkside Records PK, you guys are the coolest. Thanks for helping me spend my countless paychecks.
There you go.
We got Lil Yaz's list. Ain't no crossover on there.
Nope, it's all pop punk.
Yasmin Bleeth. Nope, it's not all pop punk. Number 5, Adele.
Oh. Is that the same place I had Adele? No,
Berto
Adele
and Lil Yaz.
Well, Adele is her girl, along with Beyonce and some other person. Oh, Taylor Swift. T-Swizzle.
Tay-Sweezy.
Okay, well, this one isn't in order, but the bro Namath from Hudson Valley Tattoo Company, at the, I'm not sure if it's the top or bottom of their list, have Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay.
I believe their list is not sequential, partly because it's
Non-denominational.
It's 4 people's.
It's the
combined
shots list,
okay.
right? Yeah.
Let's see. Our good friend Kristen, she had Kendrick Lamar at number 8. That's the only... nope. She had a crossover with JB. She had Grimes at number 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. I know she also had Joanna Newsom on there, right? Was that her
Yeah,
number
that was
1?
her number 1.
And that's a record I did not listen to this year, and
Me
I
neither.
feel like I need to. I need to check that out.
Oh, our friend Billy says good list. Let's see.
Billy was supposed to give us a list, wasn't he?
I think Billy is going to give us a list.
Billy better be giving us a
We're going
list.
to harass him until he does.
Although I will say that based on Billy's recommendation, I listened to Chelsea Wolfe. That was a good record this year's.
Yeah, you know what? I've heard a track, like in just doing like some new release ordering, and I want to check it out, but I just never got around to it.
It was good until JB sold the copy we had.
Sorry, buddy. That's actually an artist who, I don't know why I never mentioned it to you, but it's an artist who...
You were talking about that the
I
other
was
day.
like, you would love her. I don't know why I've never thought of saying, hey, Berto, listen to this. Because and as soon as I did, I was like, this is so obvious that you would love Chelsea Wolfe.
Our own Tyler Gherkin, he had Kendrick Lamar at number 1. He also has Adele on his list at number 3.
Wow.
So far,
So
obviously,
wait, hold on. Somewhere in a dark corner, Tyler sits and listens to Adele in his free time.
yeah, he bought it the day it came out. I remember.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I would say that obviously the clear favorite among Darkside posters so far is Kendrick Lamar, followed by Adele. And if I had to say so far, I would say that as a store, I'm gonna say the number 1 album sold this year has to be Adele.
Easily.
Like, we haven't crunched the numbers yet, but I just really think both for CD and vinyl that will be it.
I mean, we ordered her in numbers that are unprecedented for us.
Yeah.
And sold.
That would be
Pretty
an
much what we
interesting
ordered.
thing to do in like our January podcast.
Usually come January, I do that just for my own curiosity.
We should do that.
Let's see what our own Kendra had. Kendra and I had Coheed at the same place.
Ooh.
She had Father John Misty at number 4, Adele at number 3, Modest Mouse at number 2. Oh, number 1. I should have put this on my honorable mentions. Alabama Shake, Sound and Color.
Okay.
That was
Very
a great
good record.
record.
Yeah, very good record.
I overlooked that one.
That was another one that I really liked. We listened to it a lot.
Oh shit, she's got another one I overlooked. Completely overlooked. You guys aren't gonna believe it. I forgot about the Dead Weather record.
I thought about Dead Weather. I
I
thought
completely
about
forgot
it, putting
about
it
it.
on there, and you're just a bad Jack White fan, man.
Apparently.
Also, did you know that Jack White is on the Hateful Eight soundtrack? There's a White Stripes track.
I did know that actually.
Yeah, Apple Bottom.
I can't read it, but it's our sexist Darkside Records top 10 from DJ of Dead Empires. It's not readily available for me.
Wait, did it say sexist and not sexiest?
Oh, I'm sorry, I read sexist.
Okay. This is our sexist top 10.
Probably our sexist DS top 10 is what I read.
A lot of Bobby Brown on there.
So yeah, I guess we'll have to tally the votes at the end and see like what the most overlapped items were. I think that'll be an interesting list too.
I'm going to put together a thing on our website tomorrow, and it's going to be just like it's going to be a single page, and it's going to be all Darkside employees and their lists on one page, and all Darkside friends, family, fans, customers, and all of them on one page. And that way you can just scroll through and see what everybody put. And, maybe you'll find something that you like. I'm speaking to you, the listener. Maybe you find something you like.
But
maybe
you're looking at me.
I know. Something you've never heard, something new to listen to. And hopefully you'll...
Don't forget to come in Wednesday when we'll be playing our top 10, if we all remember to do so, which we probably won't.
Are we all working Wednesday?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we are, but at the same time, we
I'm
must
sure
be.
at some point there's an overlap.
I'm in early, so I'll start.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, so come in Wednesday. Hear some records that we all liked. Pick up some records that we all liked.
For yourself or as last minute Christmas gifts?
The literal last minute,
yeah.
as last minute as possible Christmas gift.
Well, it's not Christmas Eve, but
And the fire's out.
The fire's out.
The fire had a good
And
run on
so
this
are
podcast. Oh. All right, so that's our top 10s. Everyone, thanks for listening, as always.
We need a discount code?
Well, before we get there,
Okay.
thanks for being a part of this with us for all of 2015. Thanks for all your support. Thank you everyone who has come in.
Thanks for all the new customers who've checked us out.
Yeah, thanks everyone who's interacted with us.
thanks for all the referrals from you good customers that are out there.
Yeah. We've had an amazing 2015 and are so thankful for everything. Maybe this would have been better to say in the Thanksgiving podcast, but we're just
No, it's fuck it. We're end of the year. We're making resolutions, and I think our resolution is to always be better, do better in 2016.
Yep.
And something funny.
And in January, we're going to be moving into our new space, 611 Duchess Turnpike, just a half mile down the road from where we are currently.
We know it says November.
January 16th is the tentative move-in date.
And our 5th year anniversary.
Exactly.
Of existence.
So
We're starting school.
we're going to have a great celebration. We have a lot planned.
Keep sending your lists.
Keep sending your list. Let us know what you're listening to. And what's our next podcast going to be? I guess it's just January.
Yeah, we'll talk in January. We'll talk new store.
Yeah.
And we'll talk the best of Darkside 2015.
Oh. What do you think was Erin's top 2?
Erin's top 2.
Did she disclose that information with you?
I'm gonna say that her number 1 was Maria Mena. I believe the album is called Growing Pains.
Okay.
I was gonna say that most people don't know who Maria Mena is, but she is I want to say Norwegian singer. I don't want to necessarily call her a pop singer, but I guess it's pop
Popular in the
ballads.
fjords.
It's actually a pretty good record. We listened to it again today in the car, and it's a solid record. I'm gonna give her number 2. Well, I know she enjoyed the Ryan Adams Taylor Swift cover record.
That's what I would have assumed was number 2.
Something else came out this year that she really liked. There was another dude that came out. I can't think of who she was into. I don't know. If you hear this, just bug her to ask her what her top 10 list is. She'll love it.
She loves being bugged.
So that's our top 10 list podcast. Thanks for listening. Again, send us yours, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a great holiday. Have a great new year if we don't see you between now and then. And we will see you in 2016 at our new location.
And thank you.
And thanks. So on behalf of the Darkside Records and Gallery Podcast, I'm JB.
I'm Berto.
I'm JJ.
Thanks.
Later.
See you next year. Or sooner.